to marry into a rich business family. A man leaves his pregnant girlfriend. He pays a doctor to operate on her at 6 months pregnant. They cut open her belly and end an innocent life. Then they leave the heartbroken woman alone in the heavy rain far from town. Mie painfully remembers their happy past. Her deep love only brought her this terrible pain. A seed of hate grows in her heart. The man is Shin Tae-hwan. He rules the mining village like a king. The cruel boss never pays his workers on time. Soon Mie finds her chance for revenge. Tae-hwan's rich wife gives birth at the hospital where Mie works. She thinks about killing their baby quietly, but her kind heart stops her. She looks at another baby born the same day. A bold plan forms in her mind. She knows this baby's parents are very poor. They already have a 7-year-old son. She switches the ID tags on the baby's feet. Now Tae-hwan's son will grow up poor. When they grow up, she will tell Tae-hwan the truth she doesn't know. This act will change many lives forever. Tae-hwan holds the baby he thinks is his. Shin Tae-hwan leaves the hospital by helicopter, holding the baby, who isn't really his son. Yumi watches him coldly from a distance. Another woman, Chun-hee, also leaves the hospital after giving birth. She sees the other mother leaving in a helicopter. She can't help but feel life is unfair. Her husband, Lee Ki-chul, is overjoyed about their newborn son. He names the baby Jack. He tells his older son, Dong-chul, to always take care of his brother. If anything happens to me, Dong-chul, you must be Jack's father. Lee Ki-chul is the miners' union leader. He hates how Shin Tae-hwan treats people poorly. After many failed attempts to get their pay, he decides to lead a workers' strike. But Shin Tae-hwan finds out before they can act. Shin Tae-hwan yells at them, calling them ungrateful fools. He says every meal they eat is because of him. If they make him angry, he will fire them all. But Lee Ki-chul isn't afraid. He tells Shin Tae-hwan, the miners' hard work made you rich. Your business depends on them. If you treat miners like rats, we'll punch you in the face. A powerful boss like Shin Tae-hwan is humiliated by his own workers. Shin Tae-hwan swears to make Lee Ki-chul pay. Shin Tae-hwan vows to make Lee Ki-chul pay for today's actions. The next day, he orders his men to cause an explosion in the mine. He wants Lee Ki-chul dead by tomorrow. But Dong-chul, who is hiding nearby waiting for his father, hears everything. Dong-chul runs toward where his father works. He screams his father's name. A deafening explosion shakes the mine. Thick black smoke fills the sky. Dong-chul knows his father is gone. Workers carry Lee Ki-chul's body out of the dark mine. He still clutches the birdcage his son gave him. No matter how much his loved ones cry, he never opens his eyes again at Lee Ki-chul's funeral. Chun-hee calls Shin Tae-hwan a murderer, but no one believes a 7-year-old boy's words. She tells her sons to remember Shin Tae-hwan's face, study hard, become prosecutors, and bring this evil man to justice. At their father's grave, the boys make a promise they will protect their family and get justice for their father. 10 years pass quickly. Dong-chul is now a famous genius in town. He keeps his promise and supports the family. His younger brother, Jack, grows up into a happy and bright young boy. Over these 10 years, Shin Tae-hwan tries many ways to force Dong-chul's family to move out. No matter how badly she gets beaten, Chun-hee never gives in, even when seriously hurt. She hides the truth from her sons. But smart Dong-chul already guesses who's behind this. When Shin Tae-hwan's wife and son approach them, Dong-chul wants to fight, but Chun-hee stops him. Actually, Shin Tae-hwan's son, Myung-hoon, is nothing like his father. He politely invites Jack to his birthday party. Shin Tae-hwan's wife also invites their whole family. But Chun-hee angrily calls them evil-hearted people. She doesn't know. This boy, Myung-hoon, is actually her real son. Seeing his mother get hurt again and again while protecting him, and Jack Dong-chul gives up his dream of becoming a prosecutor. He decides to work and support the family. Nothing, Chun-hee says, can change his mind. At his father's grave, he promises to work hard and help Jack become the prosecutor he dreamed of being. But Shin Tae-hwan keeps attacking them daily. A man throws a stack of letters at Chun-hee's face. He says, no matter how she complains, her letters always end up with Shin Tae-hwan. He threatens that if they keep staying, her sons will end up like their dead father. Seeing his mother hurt again breaks Dong-chul's heart. Dong-chul thinks it's because he's not strong enough. That's why his mother keeps getting hurt. He remembers his father's last words to him. Dong-chul hugs his father's clothes and cries loudly. Jack comforts his brother and promises they'll protect their mother together. So Dong-chul tells Jack the truth about their father's death. Jack now realizes that his friend Myung-hoon's father killed their dad. He angrily throws away Myung-hoon's birthday gift into a garbage cart. But Shin Tae-hwan humiliates them. His men push Jack's head into the garbage. Then they beat up both brothers badly. Worst of all, he forces his gentle son, Myung-hoon, to hit his friend. Chun-hee cries when she hears what happened. She punishes Dong-chul with house rules. She warns Dong-chul to avoid fights when he's not strong enough. Yet this is how to survive in their cruel world. Chun-hee knows Shin Tae-hwan will never forgive them, so she decides to leave the town they've lived in for decades. Before leaving, she goes to Shin Tae-hwan's office to demand her husband's money. In front of Shin Tae-hwan's family, she calls him a murderer in disguise. Shin Tae-hwan throws a bag of money on the ground and tells her to take it and leave. But Chun-hee grabs gasoline she prepared earlier. She pours it all over the money. Then she lights it on fire in front of everyone. Shin Tae-hwan runs away in fear. But the cruel man won't let this go. That night, he sends people to burn Dong-chul's house. Luckily, they notice it in time, and no one gets hurt. Dong-chul remembers his father's birdcage is still inside. He rushes back into the burning house. He doesn't care about his own safety. He manages to save his father's last keepsake. After the fire, their home of many years is completely destroyed. Dong-chul suddenly realizes Jack is missing. He quickly goes to look for him. Jack is pouring gasoline on the wood outside Shin Tae-hwan's house. Then he sets it on fire. Dong-chul arrives just then. He tries to stop Jack, but it's too late. The fire quickly spreads. Dong-chul tries to put it out, but he can't. The flames grow stronger. He tells Jack to run. Shin Tae-hwan sees the fire and rushes outside. He spots Dong-chul running away, watching the raging fire. Dong-chul remembers his father's words, "Take care of your brother when I'm gone." So he tells Jack to blame him if the police ask when Dad is not around. The older brother must take care of the younger one. So Dong-chul tells Jack that if the police ask, he should say Dong-chul started the fire. He also tells Jack to take good care of their mother. He will go far away to work and send money back. Finally, he reminds Jack to study hard, become a prosecutor, and clear their father's name. With that, Dong-chul boards a train to an unknown destination. But Shin Tae-hwan doesn't let it go. Dong-chul is caught midway by the police who were set up by Shin Tae-hwan. Because he's still underage, Dong-chul is sent to a local juvenile detention center. Some dangerous inmates are planning a new escape, but Dong-chul overhears their plan before they act. They grab him and give him two choices: join them and escape together, or die right there. But Dong-chul refuses both. He wants to leave this place the right way. He promises not to tell anyone what he heard. But the inmates won't let him go. They try to cut off his hand with a chainsaw. A guard arrives just in time to save Dong-chul. The next day, he finds John and says he'll join their escape plan, but only if they give him a lot of money afterward, because just moments ago his mother and family came to visit him. As soon as they meet, she says she wants to cut ties with him. She says she doesn't want Jack, who will become a prosecutor, to have a shameful older brother. But no mother in the world stops loving her child. Before leaving, she tells Dong-chul to behave well in prison. She hopes he can get out soon. But after a few steps, she collapses from illness. Turns out Dong-chul's mom has a serious kidney disease. The family can't afford hospital treatment. Dong-chul feels heartbroken and guilty. He asks John to lend him money for his mom's treatment. The price is joining their escape plan. Night falls quickly. They reach the planned escape spot. Dong-chul cuts the wire fence as they demand. They walk along the tracks onto a railway bridge. Suddenly a fast train rushes toward them. The only way to survive is to jump, but it's too dark to see if there's water or rocks below. The scared group pushes Dong-chul forward again. Thinking of his mom, Dong-chul jumps without hesitation. They finally escape the prison. John takes them to meet their boss, Uncle Chong. He introduces Dong-chul as his new recruit. He praises Dong-chul as brave and smart, a rare talent. But Uncle Chong doubts Dong-chul's toughness. He throws a plate to test Dong-chul's reflexes. The result surprises him. That night, Uncle Chong takes them to hunt for treasure at sea. Using a treasure map, they quickly find the spot. Uncle Chong says this place is full of sharks. Many people who went down here recently never came back. Then he asks who wants to go first. Everyone looks at each other, too scared to jump. But Dong-chul is young and fearless. He steps forward first. He tells Uncle Chong his home address. He says, if he doesn't return, give the money to his mother. Then he jumps in without hesitation. Soon Dong-chul finds what Uncle Chong wanted. The bag is full of smuggled gold jewelry. Because of his bravery, Dong-chul earns Uncle Chang's trust. Dong Chul gives the money from Uncle Chong to his brother Jack. He tells him to get their mother treated quickly. He also warns Jack not to tell their mother he escaped. Then he leaves in a hurry. But when they return to their place, everyone is gone. Only Uncle Chong is left, badly hurt and unconscious. John sees police coming and tries to pull Dong Chul to run, but loyal Dong Chul insists on saving Uncle Chong first. Ignoring John's protests, Dong Chul carries Uncle Chong to the hospital. When Uncle Chong wakes up, he tells Dong Chul to find his friend Ben. Ben says there's a traitor named Dokese among them. Dokese teamed up with their enemy Max and stole Uncle Chang's treasure map. But the treasure map is fake. Uncle Chong already suspected there was a traitor in their group. Ben takes Dong Chul and John to capture Dokese's gang and send them to the police. Shin Taehwan learns that Dong Chul has escaped from juvenile detention. He bails Dokese out and orders him to kill Dong Chul. But after saving Uncle Chong, Dong Chul gets promoted. He now has many bodyguards wherever he goes. Dokese can't find a chance to attack him, so he kidnaps Dong Chul's brother Jack to lure him out alone. But he doesn't know. Dong Chul already found out. Shin Taehwan ordered this. Dong Chul has his men capture Shin Taehwan for a prisoner swap. This surprise move forces Dokese to agree. Dong Chul sends John away with Jack. He stays behind to deal with Dokese. Just as they're about to fight, police arrive. Dong Chul gets arrested again, but someone takes him away privately, blindfolded. He's brought to a boat. It's Uncle Chong rescuing him. Uncle Chong wants to take Dong Chul to Macau for new opportunities, but Dong Chul promised his father to protect his family and refuses to leave. He jumps into the sea. Uncle Chong jumps in and saves him. Dong Chul begs to stay and protect his family. Uncle Chong says staying will only put his family in danger. The real way to protect them is to become strong himself. Dong Chul leaves with a heavy heart. He starts his journey to Macau, but as soon as they arrive, Uncle Chong is captured by mysterious men. Dong Chul wants to save him, but the enemies are too strong. From then on, Dong Chul loses all contact with Uncle Chong. 10 years pass quickly. At the Macau docks, a masked young man appears. He works tirelessly to pay for his younger brother, Jack's education. He arrives at the docks before 5 a.m. every day to move cargo. As soon as his shift ends, he rushes to a nearby restaurant to deliver gas tanks. He even takes small jobs like taking out the trash. At night, he works as a dealer in an underground casino, all to earn more money to send home. But his mother refuses to use Dong Chul's money. She fears his dark past will hurt Jack's future as a prosecutor. She doesn't know it was Jack who made the mistake years ago. Even the money for her surgery was earned by Dong Chul, risking his life. Dong Chul carries the family's burdens on his young shoulders. Meanwhile, in South Korea, Jack lives up to Dong Chul's hopes. He ranks first nationwide and enters Seoul National University's law school. The media celebrates his success. Dong Chul sees the exciting news in the papers. He speeds down the road on his motorcycle. He can't wait to share this good news with his late father. His brother Jack has achieved the dream he couldn't fulfill. He calls Jack. The brothers talk about how much they miss each other. Jack says he kept his promise and tells Dong Chul to come home soon. But Dong Chul says he'll return only after he succeeds. Later, while hauling trash, Dong Chul sees a couple kissing up ahead. He stares too hard and accidentally tips over the trash cart. The woman gets furious. Her clothes are now dirty. Dong Chul keeps apologizing. The woman storms off angrily, but the man thanks Dong Chul for scaring away the clingy woman. The man is named Mike. He's the youngest son of Macau's biggest casino owner. The woman was just a minor chapter in his life. The woman watching from upstairs is the one Mike really wants, but can't win over. Yet, her eyes stay fixed on Dong Chul. The next day, while working, Dong Chul spots two suspicious men entering his hotel. He remembers overhearing them plan to rob a rich heir at the underground casino last night. He senses danger, grabbing a gas canister. He rushes inside. He sees the men holding Mike at gunpoint. He pretends to be someone who wants revenge on Mike. He uses the gas tank to separate them, but the robbers suddenly point their guns at them. Dong Chul quickly opens the gas tank valve. He takes out a lighter and pretends to light it. The robsters see someone even crazier than them. They get scared and run away. But Mike isn't grateful at all. He scolds Dong Chul for being too reckless. He says one wrong move could have killed them all. Turns out the gas tank was empty. Dong Chul's boldness impresses a girl nearby. She immediately falls for him. She's Lily, the girl from upstairs earlier. Lily is actually Mike's fiancée, but she doesn't like Mike at all. Instead, she's very interested in Dong Chul, even though they've only met twice. Lily is a rich girl who acts on her feelings. When she likes someone, she goes for it. She keeps finding excuses to be near Dong Chul. Dong Chul thinks Lily is a loose woman and ignores her, but he still walks her home when she insists. When Lily gives him a goodbye kiss, he has no choice but to accept it. One day Lily visits Dong Chul again. She sees his underwear full of holes. She can't help but laugh at him. How many years have you worn these? This looks just like a fishing net. It's so old and worn out. Dong Chul says awkwardly, "Oh, come on. Show some manners, will you manners?" Lily brags that she's a billionaire's daughter. If he agrees to be with her, he'll live a rich life. But Dong Chul doesn't believe her. He doesn't know there's a camera nearby filming them like crazy. Shin Tae-hwan sees the photos of them. Looking close, he feels like this messy man looks familiar. His men say the man's brother got first place at Seoul National University. Shin Tae-hwan realizes the man is his old enemy, Dong Chul. He can't believe Dong Chul is still alive after 10 years. But soon Shin Tae-hwan comes up with a plan to hurt two birds with one stone. He wants Dong Chul to watch the woman he loves marry his son. So he kidnaps Dong Chul's friend's pregnant wife to force Dong Chul to kidnap Lily. Dong Chul has no choice but to agree. When Lily sees Dong Chul coming for her, she's over the moon with joy. But Dong Chul says he's here to kidnap her. Lily thinks he's joking. She happily gets on his motorcycle, feeling excited about the surprise from the man she loves. Dong Chul says again that he's really kidnapping her. But Lily still doesn't believe him. When she gets off the bike and sees the scary-looking group of men, she realizes she's actually been kidnapped. Lily angrily asks Dong Chul if he only got close to her to kidnap her today. Dong Chul doesn't know how to answer. When the rich chairman hears his daughter, Lily, was kidnapped, he gets very angry. He warns his men to find his daughter quickly. If anything bad happens to Lily, everyone will pay for it with their lives. The two are taken to a remote island. Dong Chul secretly gives Lily a boat key. He says he'll distract the kidnappers so she can escape. Lily doesn't understand what Dong Chul is doing, but she still wants to know if he ever liked her. Dong Chul admits it, saying, "I like you." Lily finally kisses him on the lips instead of his sweaty face. Dong Chul goes inside and tells the kidnappers to free his friend's wife, as promised. Then a guard says Lily seems to have escaped. The boss orders his men to kill Lily. Dong Chul tries to stop them, and they both fall from the balcony. Lily gets tangled in a fishing net while escaping. The kidnappers chase after her. Dong Chul tries to stop them, but isn't strong enough. They quickly knock him down. Lily finally gets free and reaches the boat. The kidnappers catch up to her. They aim their guns at Lily. Dong Chul sees this and quickly jumps up. He uses his arm to block the bullet. Lily finally starts the yacht. She sees Dong Chul surrounded by the kidnappers about to be shot. So she turns the boat around and comes back. Just as the kidnappers are about to shoot, one of them gets hit by a bullet. First, it turns out Mike has arrived with the police. The kidnappers run away in panic. Lily rushes to Dong Chul. She holds him in her arms, covered in blood. Mike watches them silently from the boat. Dong Chul also learns that Lily's father is Chairman Gook. Lily's father asks what reward he wants. Dong Chul says he only wants a passport. Years ago he was framed by enemies and forced to live here illegally. For over a decade he has struggled to survive as an undocumented immigrant. With a passport he can leave and return to his family. Chairman Gook says a passport is no problem. He could even give him ownership of this casino if he wanted, but only if he stays away from Lily. Chairman Gook knows his daughter has fallen for Dong Chul, but Dong Chul refuses the offer. Even though he has nothing now, he won't trade his feelings for money. Lily feels she was right about him. She becomes even more determined to stay with Dong Chul. Chairman Gook is also impressed by Dong Chul. In this materialistic world, young people like Dong Chul who don't bow to money are rare. But admiration is one thing. Chairman Gook still tells Lily to accept Mike's proposal. As a successful businessman, a marriage of equal status will help his business grow. But stubborn Lily refuses to listen. She goes to find Dong Chul. She reminds him of their promise to go on a date. Dong Chul says he likes her. But love between people from different worlds won't work. Lily's heart breaks as Dong Chul walks away. She doesn't know he's doing this to protect her. Dong Chul found out Lily's kidnapping was ordered by his enemy Shin Tae-hwan. Now Dong Chul tracks Shin Tae-hwan's movements. He plans to settle their old and new grudges tonight with his friends. He stops Shin Tae-hwan's car on the road. His men beat Shin Tae-hwan badly. Dong Chul stares at his enemy, remembering his father's death like it was yesterday. He can finally take revenge. Dong Chul swings an iron rod, releasing years of anger. But at the last moment Dong Chul still can't bring himself to do it. He realizes he can never become someone like Shin Tae-hwan. Suddenly, Shin Tae-hwan's men arrive. Dong Chul tries to leave on his motorcycle. A truck speeds straight toward him and hits him. Gas leaks from the motorcycle, causing an explosion. Dong Chul is thrown far by the blast. His fate is unknown. When Shin Tae-hwan hears the news, he laughs wildly. He orders his men to set off fireworks to celebrate. Meanwhile, his son Myung-hoon, raised under his cruel teachings, has become even worse. Not only does he steal Jack's childhood sweetheart, but he also tries to force the demolition of Jack's village. Jack organizes the villagers to protest and protect their homes. They hold a demonstration against the demolition. But this plays right into Myung-hoon's hands. He arrests Jack, accusing him of causing trouble. Meanwhile, Lily keeps visiting Dong Chul's house every day, but she never finds him. Finally, with Mike's help, she discovers Dong Chul recovering in a hospital. It turns out Chairman Gook saved him. Chairman Gook still wants Dong Chul to work for him. He values Dong Chul's skills and hopes he will stay by his side. This time Dong Chul doesn't refuse. He has learned that his brother, Jack, was framed and sent to prison by Myung-hoon. Now Chairman Gook is the only one who can help. So Dong Chul begs Chairman Gook to save his brother. He also promises to give up his feelings for Lily. Lily tells Dong Chul she can also help him achieve his goal. But Dong Chul says their statuses are different. Next time they meet it will be as master and servant. Lily is heartbroken. She blames her father for treating her savior this way. That night Lily finds Dong Chul again angrily. She asks why he lied to her. Why couldn't you lie to me forever? Dong Chul says, be thankful. I only lied for a short time. Lily yells that Dong Chul is now just her family's hunting dog. Then she turns and leaves without looking back. Dong Chul wants to chase her, but knows he can't. He can only watch helplessly as the person he loves walks further away. Shin Tae-hwan learns Dong Chul is not only alive, but has teamed up with Guk Dae-hwa to return to South Korea against him. He orders his men to stop them, no matter what it takes, but it's too late. Dong Chul and Guk Dae-hwa return to their hometown after many years. Guk Dae-hwa lets Dong Chul stay at his house. Lily keeps insulting Dong Chul on the surface, calling him her father's dog, but secretly she's happy to live under the same roof with the one she loves. Guk Dae-hwa keeps his promise and gets Dong Chul's brother out of prison. Dong Chul is already waiting there. The two brothers haven't seen each other for over 10 years, and both look different now, but they still recognize each other by using a special hand signal from their childhood. This emotional reunion moves even the ruthless Chairman Gook to tears. Later Jack returns home and tells his mother that Dong Chul saved him. Mother slowly looks at Dong Chul. After more than 10 years apart, Dong Chul now resembles their father. Seeing her son's weathered face, Mother feels both joy and sorrow. Dong Chul finally reunites with the family he missed so much. But this happy moment is ruined by an unwelcome guest. Myung-hoon arrives with a demolition team to force the villagers out again. Enemies meet with burning anger. Dong Chul quickly starts fighting them. He knocks several men down easily. Then Dong Chul spots a familiar face. John, his old friend who once fought beside him. He can't understand why John now works for Shin Tae-hwan. Suddenly Shin Tae-hwan's assistant appears and tells Myung-hoon that someone powerful is pressuring them to retreat immediately. The villagers cheer, believing Dong Chul saved them again. But Mother looks worried. She doesn't like her son solving problems with violence. But Dong Chul believes the law can't stop some bad people. He wants to get justice for his father his own way. Dong Chul and his mother have a big fight. His mother kicks him out of the house. She won't allow her son, the prosecutor, to have a gangster for an older brother. Dong Chul feels heartbroken. He looks at his father's old birdcage. He hopes his father in heaven understands him. Then he throws himself into his work. With his fearless attitude, he helps Chairman Gook defeat many rivals. Soon he becomes Chairman Gook's right-hand man. He even rescues Do Kese, who once betrayed him, from prison. He promises to heal Do Kese's injured leg. Seeing Dong Chul forgive him so easily, Do Kese is deeply moved. He swears to stay loyal to Dong Chul forever. One day Dong Chul visits Jack, who's serving in the military. Suddenly Lily calls him. She says Lawyer Kim took their father out, and now he's missing. Dong Chul remembers Lawyer Kim once sent men to kill him. He thought it was just jealousy over his success, but now he realizes it's more serious. He tells Lily to stay safe at home. Then he calls his men, ordering them to rescue Chairman Gook at all costs. He rushes back on his motorcycle. It turns out Shin Tae-hwan is behind this. Shin Tae-hwan secretly bribes Guk Dae-hwa's trusted assistant, Lawyer Kim. While Dong-chul is away, Lawyer Kim tricks Guk Dae-hwa into going to a remote area to kill him. At the last moment, Dok-sa arrives with his men and saves Guk Dae-hwa. When Dong-chul reaches the hospital, he finds it strangely quiet. The hallway is empty. He senses something is wrong. He tells Lily in the hospital room not to trust anyone from now on. He suspects Lawyer Kim has bribed Guk Dae-hwa's close allies. They must leave the hospital immediately. Shin Tae-hwan's men arrive just then. Dong-chul disguises himself as a doctor to escape. He finally gets Guk Dae-hwa out safely. He orders his men to take Guk Dae-hwa to a safe place. Lily sees Dong-chul isn't getting in the car and asks where he's going. Dong-chul says he's going after Lawyer Kim. Lily worries for his safety and begs him not to go, but Dong-chul ignores her pleas and tells his men to drive away fast. Shin Tae-hwan is furious when he hears Guk Dae-hwa was rescued. He orders his men to find Lawyer Kim before Dong-chul does and kill him, because if Chairman Guk finds Lawyer Kim first, Shin Tae-hwan will die. Meanwhile, Lawyer Kim realizes his plan failed and tries to escape with the money, but Dong-chul suddenly arrives. He grabs Lawyer Kim and beats him up. He demands proof of Shin Tae-hwan's crimes. He says Shin Tae-hwan sent men to kill him to save his life. Lawyer Kim confesses. All the evidence is on a boat. Dong-chul tells him to get the evidence and give it to Chairman Guk to stay alive. But when Lawyer Kim reaches the boat, Shin Tae-hwan's men kill him. Dong-chul kneels in front of a group of thugs. He asks for his mother's unpaid wages. His mother doesn't like him solving problems with violence. Even though everyone gets their money in the end, his mother still thinks Dong-chul used his fists to solve the problem. She even feels ashamed of Dong-chul. His gangster life dishonors his late father and hurts Jack, who will soon become a prosecutor. But she doesn't know Dong-chul chose this path only to take revenge on the man who killed his father. She tells Dong-chul to stay away and not ruin Jack's bright future as a prosecutor. She cruelly says she will remove him from the family register. Her words cut deep into Dong-chul's heart. He starts doubting if what he's doing still matters. He doesn't understand why even Jack, who was always close to him, doesn't support him. Jack, who is about to become a prosecutor, gets framed by Shin Tae-hwan and sent to jail again. Dong-chul wants to use his power to free Jack, but Jack believes justice will defeat evil. He refuses to use illegal ways to prove his innocence. He even worries Dong-chul's gang ties will ruin his future as a prosecutor. But Jack doesn't know how hard life is for the weak in a world where only the strong survive. He also doesn't know what Dong-chul has sacrificed for him. Meanwhile, Dong-chul doesn't give up, with Chairman Guk's help, who is stronger than Shin Tae-hwan. Talking about dreams every day is unrealistic for people at the bottom. He also doesn't know what his brother Dong-chul has sacrificed for him. But Dong-chul's hard work pays off. With the help of Chairman Guk, who is more powerful than Shin Tae-hwan, and with his own intelligence and courage, he becomes a feared gang leader. Even Japanese gangs start to lean toward him. But everything he has now comes at the cost of losing the woman he loves. Years ago, to stop Lily from thinking about Dong-chul, Chairman Guk threatened Dong-chul's life to force Lily to study abroad. Though he admires Dong-chul, he still thinks he's not good enough for his daughter. He hopes 3 years will make Lily change her mind and marry Mike. But two people in love won't forget each other with time. Dong-chul knows he can't give Lily happiness, so he buries his feelings deep inside. Today is their first meeting in 3 years. But she slaps him. She asks, "Do you know why I slapped you?" He says no. She says, "You heartless man. For 3 years you never came to see me." He says, "I shouldn't have come here, but I wanted to see you before your engagement, because Lily and Mike's engagement is coming soon." Dong-chul wants to see Lily one last time. He hopes the woman he loves can be happy, even if that happiness doesn't come from him. Dong-chul still brings Lily to Mike, because he promised Chairman Guk. He acts calm on the outside, but his heart is breaking inside. That night, Chairman Guk arranges for Lily and Mike to attend a party. Dong-chul hides alone on the balcony feeling sad, but Lily runs away from the party. She rushes straight to Dong-chul. Dong-chul can no longer hold back his feelings and hugs Lily tightly, but his reason wins over his heart. Dong-chul painfully pushes Lily away. His father's killer is still free. How can he enjoy this warmth that isn't his? When Chairman Guk finds out Lily ran away to see Dong-chul, he decides to abandon Dong-chul as his pawn. He sends Dong-chul alone to steal a business plan from a gang in Busan. Dong-chul knows this mission is too dangerous, but he still agrees because he owes Chairman Gook. Lily overhears their conversation. She angrily asks her father why he's sending Dong Chul to die. Chairman Gook coldly replies, if she secretly meets Dong Chul again, he will make Dong Chul disappear immediately. Lily knows her father always keeps his word with tears in her eyes. She agrees to marry Mike, but she asks her father to spare Dong Chul's life. She overestimates her father's kindness. At the engagement party, while Lily and Mike receive guest blessings, Dong Chul gets beaten up by gang members. Though Dong Chul isn't afraid, he's outnumbered and loses the fight shockingly. These gangsters work for Shin Tae-hwan. Shin Tae-hwan laughs at Dong Chul's foolishness. He bribes the police to frame Dong Chul with false charges and sends him to jail. News spreads fast about gang leader Dong Chul's arrest. It becomes headline news. But Chairman Gook doesn't help when he hears. Instead, he sends Lily and Mike to Europe. At the airport, Lily sees news about Dong Chul's arrest. She realizes her father broke his promise. She throws away her ring and leaves. When Mike can't find Lily, he tells Chairman Gook she's missing. Chairman Gook gets furious. He orders his men to find Lily immediately. He says they can kill Dong Chul if needed. Meanwhile, Lily waits at Dong Chul's home for news. She has already arranged for her best friend, Emma, to save Dong Chul. But when Dong Chul returns home, his mother scolds him for always causing trouble. She even says she wants to cut ties with him. Lily steps forward at this moment. Seeing her loved one being blamed, Lily feels heartbroken. Dong Chul tells his brother to take good care of their mother. Then he takes Lily and leaves home. Dong Chul brings Lily to a remote seaside. He no longer hides his true feelings. They spend time together like a normal couple, enjoying sweet and happy moments. But Chairman Gook, with all his power, finds them to punish Dong Chul for betraying him. Chairman Gook cuts off his own right arm in front of everyone to sever ties with Dong Chul. He knows only this will make Dong Chul feel so guilty that he gives up on being with Lily. Chairman Gook's extreme act ends Dong Chul and Lily's relationship. Later, Dong Chul uses his savings to open a car scrapyard. He leaves his past glory behind, but his loyal brothers still choose to follow him. His mother forgives him for changing his life after 2 years of hard work. His brother, Jack, becomes a real prosecutor after 2 years of hard work. But Dong Chul still thinks about Lily late at night. He remembers every little moment they shared together. This deep love stays buried in his heart forever. Days pass by in simple, busy routines. Many rich businessmen and powerful people offer him jobs. Dong Chul says no to all of them. He likes his peaceful life now. But then Chairman Gook, who once abandoned him, suddenly appears. He wants Dong Chul to come back and help with his business. Ever since Dong Chul left, Shin Tae-hwan has been attacking Chairman Gook's hotel and shipping businesses. Even in Macau, many deals were stolen by Shin Tae-hwan's dirty tricks. But Dong Chul doesn't want to return to his violent past. He firmly refuses Chairman Gook's request. Then something unexpected happens. Jack, who just became a prosecutor, publicly accuses Shin Tae-hwan of being cruel and greedy. He found the worker who caused their father's mine accident. For Shin Tae-hwan, the guilty worker confesses the truth about the mine disaster. Next day, Jack takes Shin Tae-hwan's crime evidence to his father-in-law. Shocked by what Shin Tae-hwan did, the father-in-law faints on the spot. But Shin Tae-hwan arrives at the scene just in time. He puts Jack back in jail, accusing him of attempted murder. He mocks Dong Chul, saying he now lives worse than a dog. Tae-hwan vows to make sure Jack stays in prison forever for his only brother. Dong Chul goes back to Chairman Gook and offers to work for him again. His condition is that Chairman Gook must get Jack out of prison. Chairman Gook keeps his promise and rescues Jack again. Dong Chul then boards a plane to Macau. His mission is to help Chairman Gook take back the business stolen by Shin Tae-hwan. But Dong Chul is surprised when he sees Lily's best friend, Emma, waiting for him. Emma says they must meet someone before starting work. They arrive at a nursing home. After passing through many locked doors, Dong Chul sees the face that haunts his dreams. But Lily, who was once bright and cheerful, now lies weak and pale on the hospital bed. She keeps whispering Dong Chul's name. After coming to Macau, Lily fell ill from missing Dong Chul too much. She became severely depressed and lost hope many times. Mike had no choice but to put her in the nursing home. Back in Korea, Chairman Gook knows nothing about his daughter's condition. Lily didn't want to worry her father, so she made Mike hide her illness. Seeing Lily lying lifeless on the bed, Dong Chul's heart breaks. Dong Chul wants to leave everything behind and run away with Lily. Half awake, Lily seems to hear Dongchul's words. She quickly tells him to escape before her father catches him again. Dongchul completely breaks down at this moment. He finds Mike. He releases all his anger through his fists. Mike fights back just as hard. He also directs his own heartbroken anger at Dongchul. The two men wrestle violently. The next day, Dongchul returns to the hospital. Lily looks much better now. But Dongchul has to leave soon and return to Seoul. He has finished the task Chairman Gook gave him. He took back all the dock business that Shin Tae-hwan stole. But Chairman Gook calls and tells him to hurry back. Shin Tae-hwan has now targeted Chairman Gook's most important business. He secretly collected evidence against Chairman Gook and gave it to a congressman. If the congressman reveals the evidence, Chairman Gook will be finished. Dongchul doesn't want to leave Lily, but the situation is urgent, so he must return quickly. Lily notices Dongchul walking away. Her dream was real. After all, the man she loves finally came back to see her. When Dongchul returns to Seoul, he finds the congressman has disappeared. Just as Dongchul feels hopeless, he suddenly gets a call from John. They once fought side by side, but now they work for different bosses. To Dongchul's surprise, John tells him where the congressman is hiding. John grows tired of Shin Tae-hwan's cruel ways. His conscience makes him help Dongchul soon. Dongchul follows John's address and catches the congressman in the congressman's house. He finds proof that Shin Tae-hwan framed Chairman Gook. He also discovers records of Shin Tae-hwan's secret deals with officials. He immediately faxes all the evidence to Shin Tae-hwan. Shin Tae-hwan panics when he sees it. If this gets out, his career will be over. Then he receives a phone call. Hearing Dongchul's voice, he realizes Dongchul did this. He burns with anger. Dongchul orders him to appear within 30 minutes, or he will leak all the evidence. But Shin Tae-hwan still can't believe he's losing to Dongchul, whom he always looked down on. He angrily tears up the evidence. Dongchul says these are just copies. Shin Tae-hwan asks, "What do you want from me?" Dongchul's wish is simple. He wants to see Shin Tae-hwan's downfall. But Shin Tae-hwan's bribery network involves many people. If the evidence gets exposed, Chairman Gook might also get involved. So Dongchul only takes half of Shin Tae-hwan's wealth. Shin Tae-hwan doesn't want to give away his life savings. But because of Dongchul's evidence, he painfully signs the property transfer papers. After this, Dongchul fully gains Chairman Gook's trust. Chairman Gook gives Dongchul full control of the company's overseas business. Dongchul doesn't disappoint Chairman Gook. In 5 years, he grows Chairman Gook's company into Korea's top economy. He even expands the business to European countries. With his help, his brother, Jack, becomes the nation's top prosecutor. Both brothers live enviable lives now. But when night falls, Dongchul still can't help thinking about his memories with Lily. One day, Chairman Gook first tells Dongchul about Lily's situation, says Mike and his brothers are fighting over family property. Kind-hearted Mike is no match for his brothers, Lily and Mike. Staying in Macau could be dangerous, so he brings them back to Korea for safety. Chairman Gook says Mike wants Dongchul to pick them up because Dongchul is Mike's only trusted friend here. But when Dongchul arrives at the airport, he only sees Lily standing alone. 5 years have passed. The once cheerful Lily now is filled with sadness and despair. Mike was killed in Macau by his own brothers. Dongchul and Chairman Gook can't believe it's true, but they still go with Lily to Macau for Mike's funeral. After returning, Chairman Gook gathers his men to take revenge for Mike. He sends someone to pose as a waiter while Mike's brother eats with his family. They kill him when he goes to the restroom. But the next day, they face revenge. Yumi-ae, the nurse Shin Tae-hwan, once abandoned, has now returned with power. She secretly buys a large amount of shares in Shin Tae-hwan's company. Shin Tae-hwan never expected the nurse he left behind would become a financial tycoon. Thinking about what he did, he starts to panic. He doesn't want to lose everything he worked for. So he plans a car accident to make Yumi disappear forever. But his son, Myung-hoon, is also in the car that day for work. Yumi knows Shin Tae-hwan is behind this, afraid for her life. In a panic, she tells Myung-hoon his true identity. The parents who raised him for 20 years aren't his real parents. His real father is Lee Ki-chul, a miner who was killed by Shin Tae-hwan in a coal mine explosion years ago. Then their car gets hit from behind and flips over. Myung-hoon sees his father's right-hand man sitting in the other car. Now he completely believes what Yumi told him. Luckily, neither of them is badly hurt. Yumi is taken to the hospital. Myung-hoon only has minor scratches and goes back home. He takes a hair from his father's room and does a DNA test. The result is exactly what he expected. He's not really Shin Tae-hwan's son. Myung-hoon is devastated. The man he called father for 20 years actually killed his real father, and Dong-chul, whom he always looked down on, is actually his real brother. He secretly goes to Dong-chul's house, remembering how he treated them. He feels terrible. Seeing Jack and their mother happy together makes his heart ache. He wants to go in and tell them the truth, but he can't find the courage. After that day, Myung-hoon becomes a different person. Whether at home or at work, he starts opposing Shin Tae-hwan. He wants to expose all of Shin Tae-hwan's crimes. But whenever he sees his kind mother, he can't bring himself to do it, because his mother doesn't know about Shin Tae-hwan's terrible crimes. The heavy stress pushes Myung-hoon to his breaking point. Finally, he can't take it anymore and tells Dong-chul the truth about his past. But Dong-chul refuses to believe him. He even beats Myung-hoon up. Myung-hoon says he already took a DNA test. Dong-chul can't accept that the brother he sacrificed everything for is actually the son of his father's killer. He finds Yumiae and learns the full truth. It shatters him completely. Dong-chul doesn't know how to face his family. He especially can't face Jack. He doesn't want to lose their 20-year brotherhood. He also can't bear to see his mother suffer if she learns the truth. So he decides to bury the secret forever. But then Chairman Gook suddenly tells Dong-chul that Lily has been kidnapped. He asks Dong-chul to rescue her. Dong-chul agrees without hesitation because Lily is the woman he loves most. But he fears he might not survive. So he tells his aunt about Myung-hoon and Jack's true past. He worries his mother might hurt Myung-hoon if he's gone. His aunt is shocked by the truth. She can't believe something so crazy happened in their family. Dong-chul quickly finds Lily at the meeting spot. But suddenly many police cars arrive. It turns out Jack was worried about his brother's safety and brought the police with him. The police and the kidnappers start a fierce gunfight. Dong-chul takes the chance to jump onto the boat to save Lily, but during the crossfire he accidentally gets shot in the arm. Still with the police's help, he manages to rescue Lily safely. Lily is taken to the hospital. She doesn't want Dong-chul to keep getting hurt for her, so she tells him she's pregnant with Mike's baby and asks him to stay away. Dong-chul knows he and Lily can never be together. He hides his feelings for her and silently watches over her. After leaving the hospital, Dong-chul calls his aunt and tells her not to reveal Jack's true identity to their mother. But their whole conversation is overheard by his mother. The son she raised for 20 years, Jack, is actually the child of her husband's killer. She gets so angry that she faints. When she wakes up, she acts strangely. At night, she stands alone in the yard talking to herself. Just then Jack suddenly comes home. Seeing the son she raised for over 20 years, she completely breaks down. She screams that Jack is not her real son. Dong-chul quickly comes out of his room when he hears the noise. He tries to stop his mother from telling the truth, but his mother keeps shouting at Jack, letting out all her anger. Jack sees his mother blaming him for no reason. He knows something must have happened that he doesn't know about. He tries to ask her, but she faints again. His mother is taken to the hospital. The doctor says she's having temporary mental problems because of fear and stress. With proper care, she'll recover soon. Seeing Jack's confused look, Dong-chul knows he can't hide the truth anymore. He has no choice but to tell Jack about his real parents. He says, no matter whose son Jack is, he and their mother will always love him the same. Hearing this, Jack completely breaks down. He feels his whole life has been a big joke. His only purpose was to get revenge for his father and put Shin Tae-hwan in jail. But now he learns he's actually Shin Tae-hwan's son. Jack can't accept this painful truth. He runs out to the street, acting crazy. He shouts, do you know who I am? I'm Jack Lee, the top prosecutor in Korea. Back home his mother treats Jack as usual, but Jack feels everything has changed meanwhile. Myung-hoon has been feeling guilty since learning he's Dong-chul's brother. He visits his real father's grave. He apologizes for his past mistakes, but what he really wants is to be part of the family. He always envied Jack for having a brother like Dong-chul. Myung-hoon wants Dong-chul to treat him like he treats Jack. But Dong-chul worries about hurting Jack's feelings. He says it's better to keep things as they are heartbroken. Myung-hoon gets very drunk and goes to Dong-chul's house. He kneels before their mother and apologizes for his mistakes. I was wrong. The mother cries, seeing her son who was raised by their enemy. Though Myung-hoon did many bad things, she knows he's also a victim. He grew up in the home of his father's killer. His pain is obvious, so the mother decides to forgive him. She lets drunk Myung-hoon sleep in Jack's room. But Jack suddenly comes home that night. He gets furious seeing Myung-hoon in his room. "Why are you lying here? What are you doing here? Get out now. This is my room, understand? You don't belong here." But Myung-hoon says he's the real Jack. Jack knows this is true but can't accept that he and Myung-hoon switched lives. Then Dong-chul walks in. Dong-chul tells Jack not to overthink things. In his heart, Jack will always be his real brother. But Jack says from now on he is no longer Lee Dong-woo, Jack. He is Shin Myung-hoon, the son of his enemy. He says his blood is dirty and evil. Ignoring his mother's pleas, he leaves. He walks out of the home he lived in for 20 years. At the same time, Shin Tae-hwan learns from Yumi that Lee Dong-woo, Jack, his enemy, is actually his real son. He doesn't feel sad at all. Instead, he smiles happily. He never liked Myung-hoon because he was weak. But Jack, a prosecutor, would be a much more valuable son. So when he gets home, Shin Tae-hwan kicks Myung-hoon out of the house. But the thought of raising his enemy's son makes him even angrier. He orders his men to beat Myung-hoon badly, leaving him with nothing. Meanwhile, Dong-chul hears from Myung-hoon's wife that Myung-hoon has left home. Even though Myung-hoon was always against him, he still worries because they are connected by blood. Then he gets a call. It's from Jack, but Dong-chul thinks it's Myung-hoon. He tells him to come home quickly, sounding very worried. Hearing his brother Dong-chul, who once loved him most, show concern for Myung-hoon, Jack feels heartbroken. Suddenly, he feels abandoned by the whole world. But the next day, Shin Tae-hwan finds Jack. He promises to use all his power to help Jack become Korea's top prosecutor. Then he gives Jack a secret ledger showing Chairman Gook's bribery records. The next day, Jack hears shocking news from a coworker. His brother Dong-chul suddenly inherits all of Chairman Gook's assets. Jack gets angry. If Dong-chul becomes Chairman Gook, they will become enemies. Chairman Gook has cancer. He only has 1 month to live. He knows his subordinates are all eyeing his position. So he secretly passed his position to his daughter, Lily. But his men secretly kidnap Lily. They want her to give up the chairman position at the board meeting. But Chairman Gook brings Dong-chul and arrives at the last moment. In front of everyone, he officially passes his position to Dong-chul. The next day, Jack summons Dong-chul to the prosecutor's office. He wants Dong-chul to reveal all of Chairman Gook's crimes. But loyal Dong-chul would never betray someone who trusted him. He tells Jack to stay firm and not be influenced by Shin Tae-hwan. But Jack coldly says they walk different paths. He cuts all ties with Dong-chul at this moment. Dong-chul knows he and Jack can never go back to their close brotherly bond. Jack thinks if his brother won't help him, he must investigate Chairman Gook himself. Even though Chairman Gook is barely alive, Jack forcefully takes him away for questioning. With his last strength, Chairman Gook entrusts Lily to Dong-chul. He tells Dong-chul Lily is not pregnant. Then he closes his eyes forever. But Jack still refuses to believe Chairman Gook has passed away. He says it must be an act. Dong-chul looks at his crazed brother and angrily slaps him. The son he raised for 20 years is actually his enemy's son. Shin Tae-hwan, now insane, kidnaps his own son. He calls Dong-chul the boy's real brother, demanding $1 billion in cash as ransom. But his real plan is to use Jack to kill Dong-chul. After Chairman Gook's death, Dong-chul inherits his vast business empire. He becomes Shin Tae-hwan's biggest rival. To take all of Chairman Gook's wealth, Shin Tae-hwan orders his men to give Dong-chul a mysterious box during the ransom exchange. Confused, Dong-chul opens it and finds it full of drugs. But it's too late. Shin Tae-hwan already told Jack that his brother would do an illegal deal at the dock. Jack arrives with many police officers and arrests Dong-chul on the spot. Dong-chul says he was tricked by Shin Tae-hwan. But Jack, now Shin Tae-hwan's son, forgets all the sacrifices his brother made for him. He refuses to believe Dong-chul and coldly takes him away. But Dong-chul is rescued by his men hiding nearby during the transport. Jack is furious when he sees his brother escape right in front of him. He immediately arrests Dong-chul's lover, Lily, to force Dong-chul to show up. But Lily is also rescued by Dong-chul's men during transport. Hearing this, Jack loses his mind. He puts up wanted posters for his brother everywhere. Meanwhile, Dong-chul takes Lily to say goodbye to his mother. He plans to take Lily where no one can find them. His mother knows his feelings for Lily never changed. She accepts them wholeheartedly and tells Dong-chul to live happily with Lily. Then Dong-chul and Lily escape to a remote mountain village. After 10 years and many hardships, the two lovers can finally forget everything and enjoy their happiness together. In the evening, they stay at a guest house in the village to hide their tracks. Lily tells the owner they're here for their honeymoon. The owner welcomes them warmly, but as soon as Dongchul enters the room, he picks Lily up in his arms. These two lovers, who have suffered so much, finally get a moment to breathe and face their true feelings. Lily says, "Anyway, I'm not Dongchul's bride. At least, not yet." Dongchul replies, "Right. No, not yet. What is happiness? Happiness is when, no matter how time changes, no matter how much we suffer, my feelings for you never change." Dongchul says, the first time he saw Lily, he was drawn to the light in her eyes. But back then he was poor and struggling. How could he hope for warmth he didn't deserve? "Do you know what I was thinking back then? You're the one I've been searching for my whole life." He kisses the girl he's loved for so long. When the first morning light fills the room, Lily feels happiness like never before. If she could, she wishes time would stop right here. But happy moments never last long. The next day, Shin Taehwan's men find them using the clues. Dongchul just goes to the bathroom for a moment. When he returns, he finds his girlfriend, Lily, has been kidnapped. He asks his brother, Jack the prosecutor, to help save her. But Jack refuses and even handcuffs his own brother. He arrests Dongchul for selling illegal drugs. But then Jack learns from Yumiae that he has wrongfully accused his brother. Yumiae has bribed Shin Taehwan's right-hand man. She gets a recording proving Shin Taehwan framed Dongchul. Yes, it's drugs. Shin Taehwan links Dongchul to drugs. Then he makes Jack arrest him. It's all a trap. If done right, we won't get our hands dirty. We can get rid of Dongchul cleanly. Jack is shocked when he hears this. Shin Taehwan has been using Jack's desire to be a just prosecutor. He captures Mi Young-hoon to force Dongchul to the docks. Then he uses Jack to eliminate Dongchul. Yumiae gives Jack a safe code left by Chairman Gook. Inside are all of Shin Taehwan's crime records. There's also proof of Dongchul's deal with Chairman Gook to get Jack out of prison years ago. Jack sees photos of Dongchul doing hard labor in Macau 10 years ago. His heart breaks when he sees them. Dongchul gives his whole life to protect his younger brother, Jack the prosecutor. But Jack falls into Shin Taehwan's trap and sends Dongchul to prison himself. Jack wants to go back and free his brother. Suddenly his assistant calls and says Dongchul escaped. Jack knows Dongchul must be going to save Lily. But the kidnappers are dangerous criminals. Jack worries about his brother's safety. He brings a team of armed police and surrounds the whole warehouse. At the same time, Mi Young-hoon holds a press conference with all of Shin Taehwan's crime evidence. He reveals all of Shin Taehwan's illegal actions on live TV. Shin Taehwan knows he's finished and tries to escape with money. But his driver hands him a drink. After drinking it, Shin Taehwan passes out. He wakes up tied up. Then Yumiae appears to take revenge on this heartless man. She hurt too many innocent people. Knowing her sins can't be forgiven, she drives into the sea with Shin Taehwan. Their 20-year hatred ends in the ocean. Meanwhile, Dongchul finds Lily hanging in the air outnumbered. Dongchul gets badly hurt, but he fights back with all his. Dongchul fights bravely and defeats all his enemies. Finally, Dongchul safely rescues Lily. They hug each other tightly. Just as they're about to leave, a gun appears above Dongchul's head. It's Chairman Gook's former traitorous henchman. Meanwhile, Jack arrives alone at the warehouse. He sees his captured brother. The brothers lock eyes. Dongchul sees worry and sadness in Jack's eyes. Jack sees the same deep love in his brother's eyes as always. Suddenly, the man notices many police officers arriving above them. A fierce gunfight breaks out without warning. The man points his gun at Jack. Though not related by blood, Dongchul considers Jack his real brother. He takes the bullet and dies in Jack's arms. 2 years pass quietly. Today is the first birthday of Dongchul and Lily's daughter. She looks just like her dad, with thick eyebrows. They call out, "Dongchul, come inside quickly." Though Dongchul is in heaven now, he lives on in their hearts, so he's never really gone.